Howdy folks, Chuck Schiele here with Making Music Magazine, and we're here for another Artist Spotlight. And today we have Charlotte Adams from Texas, and she is the founder and proprietor and the lesson giver at Limitless Guitars. Hello Charlotte, how are you?
Well, thank you, Chuck. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thanks. We're a little cold up here in Syracuse.
I can imagine.
But as people in Florida always tell me, they tell us that we deserve it. I don't know.
No, I disagree.
Thank you. Finally, you know, New Yorkers need somebody on their side.
I know. I get it. Texans do too.
All right. So you've had Limitless Guitars for about how long now? It's been a while.
Well, I've been teaching for about 50 years. I've had my own website and
for how many years?
Business. 50.
50?
50. I know, it's crazy.
That's impressive.
I try to convince people I started when I was 3, but they're not buying it. So I've been teaching a long time. I'm waiting for someone to give me my gold watch. And I started a business in 2003. I made my first video. It's the comprehensive video, and it covers like from everything you need to know from beginning to end, like what are the things, like you're not going to get all the details, but you're going to find out the spots that you need to cover. And so with that, I was like, well, I have to have a website, which I knew nothing about. So I built a website and promoted the site, and I still have that website just because it's so old, and yeah, it's got some stuff behind it. But then last year, well, in the meantime, I kept writing books, articles and books, and I teach workshops, and I've continued to teach my private lessons and so forth. So I wrote 6 books, one after another. And then last year, I realized that I needed to write the book, which is You and Your Guitar. And You and Your Guitar is not a book about what to play on the guitar so much as it is how to learn, how to think, how to feel, and then how to know where your gaps are so that you'll know what to learn. And there's an accompaniment to the book, which is, I call it the daily, which is a journal. And it is, it encourages self and, like inspection, inspecting yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, where you are in your playing, commitment, motivation, inspiration. You can write little notes in it and figure out what you want to listen to, what you want to play, and it's a journal, a practice journal also. So when I did that, I was thinking, this is not going to go with the old website. So that's when I started Limitless Guitar, because to me, that's what this whole business is. I don't think it is a business, but I have to call it that, is limitlessness, about just learning, discovering more and more about your guitar all the time and the relationship you have with your guitar. So that's when I started Limitless Guitar, the new website that has the sparkling stars in the sky and features You and Your Guitar, as well as all the other books, which now I really consider supplemental to that. Now I feel like I have everything kind of in its place. And that's when I developed the virtual studio as well. I had a lot of lessons, text, audio, and video, and continue to add to them. So the virtual studio is where you can go and access over 150 tutorials, and that's a big part of the Limitless Guitar also. Facebook page is part of Limitless Guitar. It's a community.
Do you do all the virtual lessons?
I do. Yeah.
Wow.
I've created, they're not all video. They're, like I say, text, video, and audio, as what I feel is appropriate. So if you see a text lesson, it's not just a video lesson in text, it's a separate thing. And so there are ear training lessons in the studio. There are even backing tracks. There's stuff for every level, and there's no songs to learn. It's not about learning songs, it's about learning the skill so that you can go to YouTube and get the songs that you want to learn and know how not only to play them, but to do other things with them. If you want to play lead, if you want to put some riffs in there, change them around, whatever you want to do. So that's what it's about, kind of in a nutshell.
Cool.
So that's the Limitless Guitar part.
So you started giving lessons when you were 3. So how long have you been playing guitar before that?
No, I actually started giving lessons in college, and I'd played for several years, and I never really thought I wanted to teach. I was going to be a famous guitar player, but I started teaching because I was in college, and I got, you know, had to pay the rent, and um, I thought, well, this is something I can do. And then I got more and more into it. And the more into it I got, the more I loved it. And the more I realized how much it feeds me and how much I learn. And, if I did this recently, I sat down and made a list of what are the things that are most important to me. What do I want to spend my time doing? Which is basically what I've always done. I've never had a job that, I just said, oh, I got to make money, so I'm just going to do this. I've always done what I want to do, but I kind of reassess that, and really at the top of the list is just connecting, you know, connecting with people, connecting with music, but the connection with other people and feeling like we can learn from each other in the ways that we do with this. So I think that's maybe the biggest part of this for me.
That's a very important thing to say, because in my life by now, I am so grateful for being a musician because of how the people I've met and the places I've gotten to go on this road less traveled as a musician. It is absolutely the biggest blessing in my life. I don't consider myself I don't have a lot of money, but I am a very rich man because of this life choice.
Yeah.
I mean, we made friends a couple weeks ago, and it's all because of music and guitars and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it just goes to show you that learning guitar is good for you. So
It's really good for you. And you know what else? Even without that, something I discovered pretty early on is it's gotten me through all the really toughest times in my life. When you lose somebody that you love, when I think that's the biggest one. And it happens a lot. The older you get, the more people you lose, and animals
yeah,
and things that you did that somehow aren't there anymore. And you can go to your guitar. That's why it's, for me, you and your guitar. That's why I named it that. You can go to your guitar, and it's this private, deep, wonderful place that you don't find anyplace else. Maybe it's another instrument, maybe it's not your guitar, but whatever your art is, you go there. It's not about, for me, it's not about everybody look at me. It's about, wow, this connection, again, connection with your instrument. Yeah.
yeah, I like the way you say it. Earlier you said a relationship with your instrument, and that is the right word. I mean, that's when you are a guitar player, at that point when you like the way it's familiar, it fits to your body in a familiar way, much like that of a lover, and my relationship with my guitars is dear, in that especially they're always there for me, and no matter what,
Yep.
no matter when,
Like the
no
Taylor
matter how,
song.
you can just take it out, and you've got a pal, you've got a therapist, you've got an outlet, you've got
Yeah.
and all those other things, that whatever you want it to be, so
Yeah.
learn guitar, everybody. So in your years of teaching, I was reading on your page, you have an interesting philosophy, method, and different aspects of what goes into lessoning with you. Can you expound on that a little bit? Expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll try. Well, I think the first thing is my motto is do what's called for. So
Do
when
what?
I first do what's called for, I'm sorry, do
Okay.
what's called. So I don't have a method that, you come into my studio and everybody fits into the same book or way of going through things. So I'm going to look at each student and see what that person needs in that moment. And it may be something different next week than was this week. So
Yeah.
so I'm gonna read a lot of things about the person, and then I'm gonna start looking at where the gaps are in their playing, because if they already play, they're here wanting help because there are gaps. And guitar is so different from most instruments. When you learn it kind of by hook or by crook. I mean, we all pick it up and play songs, and we learn a little this, we learn riff, and we learn scale, And then we all feel insecure because we can't just jump in and play with somebody else. We think we can't, but maybe we can, and the other person's probably just as insecure. So we're we're, we're kind of not having as much fun as we should have, and maybe feeling not as good about ourselves as we need to feel, or we could feel, definitely. And so I want to fill that in. Now that's a connection thing too. It's like I'm seeing, where can you be happier with your guitar, and where can we bring this up so you can have more fun by yourself or with other people. And so that's going to mean not only filling in skills, which are super important, but just what I said about how you feel. Like, how do you learn? Like, when you're in the practice room by yourself, are you beating yourself up? Are you saying, oh, I'm wonderful, I don't need to practice so much? Like, where do you, like, how many repetitions do you need? And how do you get into that zone? How do you get into the practice room in the first place? Sometimes you're just not motivated or inspired, and you don't have the pattern in your discipline. So what I'm working with in materials is all of those things, is how to help you get into the practice room, how to help you be the most efficient when you're in the practice room, and learn the fastest, and not be just about should, but about the connection with the music. So that's what you and your guitar is about, is not just musical skills, ear training skills. Those are in what I teach big time. I'm big about understanding theory, not as a big scary thing. This is a language, you can talk about, you can learn better if you have language. And about practice skills, like I say, repetition, or detachment, for example, confidence, commitment, skills like that too.
That's good. Yeah, they don't teach you a lot of confidence in any lessons that I really remember. I think that's nice. The human approach to it removes the fear that goes into that prohibits learning. If you remove
Right.
that, and you take a personal approach to whole
lightheartedness. That's one of the things I talk about in the book, is being lighthearted, having some fun. Everything doesn't have to be super serious, but that doesn't mean that you skim the surface either.
That's
So
right.
you got to go deep. You got to really be willing to go deep. And people are scared. It's amazing to me how many people will come to me for lessons and start by telling me what they don't want to learn. I don't want to learn theory. I don't want to read music. And I'm thinking, well, there's all this resistance that we have to get to a point where you release resistance and realize that challenges are not bad things. Challenges are wonderful things. When you play a video game, you're challenged and you like it. When you go skiing, you're challenged. You're not only challenged physically as far as staying alive, you're cold. There are a lot of things we do, puzzles and games, everything that are challenging, but then something about learning. A lot of people are afraid to go into that. And I think, if we can switch that, which is not hard to do, it's fun to do, then we switch it. And then you learn more deeply, and you enjoy going deep and meeting those challenges. And that's how you really get to be, as I say, artist. Yeah.
Nice. So when you do this, like, do you have a schedule all day of virtual lessons?
I've always had this schedule where I try to keep most of, and this is not, I do teach in the morning sometimes, but I keep most of my lessons in the afternoon. A lot of people want to come after school or after work, and so that's always started out. I don't want to have things go from 10 in the morning till 8 at night. For me, that's not healthy.
Right.
And also, I have other things. I've spent most of my life, I'm really also passionate about horses, and so I spend time with my horses, training, riding, playing with them, and I spend that time morning time. And then I also need time for me to well, actually, you didn't ask, but I spend an hour and a half, 2 hours every morning in my own program, where I do, physical exercise, yoga, meditation, and so forth. I've done that for 45 years. So
Nice.
that to me is just like, that's the day. Okay, so I start the day that way, then I go into anything else I do, including all these tutorials. I have to have some time that I can write for the website, for the Facebook page, and for the tutorials, and I can make videos and so forth. So generally that all of that other stuff is in the morning, teaching is in the afternoon.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. And so you teach all ages?
Well, kind of. I don't teach very small children guitar because it's just too much for them, I think. I encourage smaller children to start with an ukulele, or I give them piano lessons to start with.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, because then everything's lined out in black and white.
Hmm.
It's not physically hard. You can punch and get a note. But now I'm not teaching small children at all because I'm teaching only virtually. So that's okay. I really teach mostly adults and teenagers. Yeah. But I've had some unbelievable little kids. They're great. They can be so great. So if and when I get to teaching in person again, and I'll welcome back some of the little ones too.
Hmm. Good.
I like to have a variety. That's what really feeds me the most, is if I have a lot of different kinds of people who think and behave differently. That's healthy. I like that.
You're right. Right. So when you go to your website, people can find lesson books and things like that, materials to support their learning experience. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And now this is another thing that I'm really excited about. I have a Facebook group. It's a private group, but you can join. I mean, it's just, private technically.
Mhm.
And I love that because it's a community. And I think I need that. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I need that more now since we're more separated with COVID. So, yeah, and one of the things I really love the most about teaching, there's so many things I love, sorry, but one of the things I love about teaching is that people bring me ideas. So if I'm just in my own little box, I may not hear a lot of this music, or I might not actually listen to it with an open enough ear that I get excited about it and decide to do things with it. So this is what I feel the Facebook page does too, because people can put up a video that maybe we'll pay attention to, the rest of us in the group, like, oh, I hadn't really listened that way. Maybe I've heard that song a lot, or I've heard of that artist and never given them my attention. So it opens things up as well as connecting. So that's a fun thing too. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. One of the things we like to do here at Making Music is the 2-minute tip. And so this is the part of the show where we do the 2-minute tip. And in the 2-minute tip, since most of our readers like to learn, that's why you're here today. They like to learn from people who really do it and so on. And so we always ask people such as yourself to offer a 2-minute tip or so that, kind of a little time saver, a way to get started or a way to improve.
I totally have that.
All right, ready,
I
set,
have this
go.
warm-up exercise.
All right.
At first, when you started, I was like, oh, I wasn't worried about this. This is kind of scary, but I totally have this. Okay, so
That's
it's
what
a
I'm noted
warm-up
for.
exercise.
Yeah.
You're terrifying.
Dangerous show
And
there,
you
Charlotte.
can actually, I put kind of a little bit of a challenge of this on, I can't remember, like recently, one of my newsletters or Facebook posts or something. Just do this every day. Here's a big problem. You don't have time to practice. Or you think you don't have time to practice. Maybe you just haven't sufficiently prioritized. But for whatever reason, you're not getting to your guitar every day. And of course, this is good even if you do get to your guitar every day. 2 minutes. If you haven't done it before you go to bed, pick up your guitar and do it before you go to bed. Commit 2 minutes to this warm-up exercise. And you can find it on my website, but basically it will give you sustain. It will help you play with clarity. It will develop your finger independence, your hand strength, and it will help you, if you let it propel you into your practice and you do it more than, you sit with your guitar for more than 2 minutes, it will center you. It will help you learn to remember your body and how you're using it, your breath. If you use this 2-minute exercise properly. Of course, you can do it for more than 2 minutes, but all it takes is 2 minutes. So that was a great question. Thank you.
Yeah, that worked out pretty well, didn't it, huh?
Yeah, lucky
All right.
me.
All right. Well, this is certainly wonderful time. Is there anything else you would like to add to what we've said so far?
Oh no, I'm just so grateful to be here.
Oh, I'm
And
very happy that you're here with us too. I really am. So, all right. Well, folks, if you're having a great time, make sure you go over to Charlotte's website, which is, please tell us, Charlotte.
Limitless Guitar, it's limitless-guitar.com. Or if you just Google Limitless Guitar, you'll find me. And
You
then
will.
say
Yep.
hello, check in, and join anything that you can join. I got a bunch of free stuff on there. You don't have to invest a bunch of money, and then you can figure out what we're doing.
Cool.
Yeah, and contact me anytime. I say that in my little welcome video. I mean it. Like, email me, ask me a question, whatever. I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, I'll think of some good questions then,
You got some today.
All right, folks, if you're having a good time, go see Charlotte at Limitless Guitars. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, our newsletter. Come see us on all our social media channels. We're everywhere all the time. And keep practicing.
And you're awesome.
Keep playing guitar. Thank you. You're awesome too. I'm happy to know you. So have a
You
great day, everybody. Keep practicing. Be good. Peace.